Hey, what's up, guys? This is Terabyte, and welcome back to Asagao Academy. I'm stupid and was not reading it right. Pardon me. Alright. So, we left off in the cafeteria. Mai's gonna tell us a story about her friend. So, let's see. Apparently, they had some bad blood. I nodded, choosing to take the time to relax. Before I knew it, we were finished eating. We got up and tossed our trays together. As I headed towards the door, though, Mai hesitated. Hey, I forgot something back at the dorm. Oh, need help? No, I'm totally okay. I'm just going to go get it. I'll see you later, though, right?
See you later.
Okay, see you in class. I waved and Mai sprinted off in the direction of the dorms. Alone again, I crossed my arms and headed back to Poppy Hall. Large groups of 7 or 8 people were laying out in the sun, playing catch and eating lunch on the lawn. It looked like fun to have so many friends like that. I smiled. Maybe this new school would really be better than my last. Without students inside of it, Poppy Hall looked a bit like an abandoned hospital. My footsteps echoed as I climbed the stairs to the 4th floor. With a sigh, I opened my locker and pulled out the book Satch gave me. It was a good thing I brought it after all. I stepped into the classroom and saw a flash of movements by the window. A boy sat on the windowsill, and he jerked up when I came in. He was silhouetted by the afternoon sunshine, so I couldn't quite tell who he was. Hello, I'm sorry. Did I bother you? The boy stood and shook his head. Then he crossed to a desk on the opposite side of the room. As I passed, I was able to see him clearly. Another Normal Boots jacket? This guy. He was Shane from the Normal Boots Club. How on earth did this keep happening to me? Shane sat down at his desk, fidgeted with his hands a little, then turned to look at me. You're the new girl? I nodded. My name is Hana. Nice to meet you. He nodded. Shane. Silence filled the space between us. Panic built up inside me. This was my chance to get in with the Normal Boots Club, and I was blowing it. I walked to my desk and sat down, setting the book on top of it. Shane looked at me, unsmiling. You're part of the Normal Boots Club? Yes, I am. Why? He spoke as if it were a challenge, almost glaring at me. I just saw your jacket, so I trailed off. The jackets are really cool.
Okay.
Yes, they are. Silence again. He seemed skeptical, as if he expected me to crawl out of my skin and reveal myself to be a large amphibious reptile. I had to do something. Who knew when another chance like this would come? Che didn't seem friendly. In fact, he seemed downright suspicious. Surely he wasn't on to me already. Maybe it was better not to risk it. Let's give the boy his space. I chewed my lip and opened my book, finding the page I ended on the night before. Shane's stare still stung, hot, on the side of my face. He wasn't looking away. I stared at the page of my book, rereading the same sentence without grasping any of what it said. Finally, a small group of girls entered the classroom, and Shane looked away. The atmosphere was broken. I heaved a sigh of relief. What was up with these Normal Boots guys? John was really nice when I spoke with him, but PBG and Shane seemed to hate me. They were anything but normal. I waited for Mai to come back to class, waiting desperately to tell her what had happened. But when the bell rang and Miss Shizuka started teaching, Mai still hadn't come. Uh-oh, what happened to our friend? Class came and went, the bell rang, and I was alone. PBG stared at me for the entirety of the class period, his face growing more and more menacing by the minute. How his face wasn't stuck in a perma-frown, I would never know. Shane and John didn't bother talking to me as they left the classroom, and the other students paired up around me. Hey, Mimi, would you like to engage in casual discourse this evening? Yeah, of course. But why are you talking like that? I stuffed my book in my backpack and headed to the dorm. With a sigh, I unlocked the door to my dorm room. As soon as the door opened, I heard...
What?
Mai and I lay in a heap on the floor. I'm so glad you're back. She wrapped her arms around my head and nuzzled me. What are you doing? Come look! She got off me and helped me to my feet. Without Mai's face filling my vision, I saw something had changed. Oh my goodness! The dorm room looked nothing like what it had before. The posters and fairy lights were still up, but now the window had light pink curtains that cast a warm haze around the room. A brand new white carpet was on the floor, pillows were piled high in a mountain on the top bunk of the bed. Even our chairs had been replaced with new cushy leather ones. What happened here? Sorry, I didn't tell you, but I wanted to surprise you. I thought this would come in yesterday, but it was delayed by a day. I wanted to set it up to be a big surprise. I'm still not done yet, though. She gestured to some small potted plants arranged in neat rows on her desk. Want to help?
Yeah.
Do I ever? Well, that's nice. We finished setting up the room, switching a few objects here and there in order to better facilitate the feng shui, which Mai told me was excruciatingly important. She especially wanted to make sure our room was filled with reds and pinks and coupled items, though for what purpose I wasn't sure. We collapsed with heavy sighs on the floor, then heaved great big yawns. It's not even the end of the day yet, and I'm so tired. Me too. Wait! She shot up suddenly with a jolt. We should get some ice cream.
Really?
Yes, ice cream cures all.
Yeah.
Something to celebrate bringing roommates. The ice cream here on campus is genuinely good, I promise.
I don't know.
And I'm paying. Well, if that's the case, you made an offer I can't refuse. Sweet, let's go. The school shop was in the side building off the cafeteria, packed with instant noodles and giant bottles of soda. Students wandered the aisles aimlessly, clearly here more to spend time than money. Mai paid the cashier, and we grabbed our ice cream cones, mine the one covered in sprinkles. Whoa, this is delicious.
Yeah.
Isn't it? We're lucky to have such good food on campus. This place would be awful if we didn't. I nodded and was about to respond when I noticed a commotion outside. Ooh, let's see what's going on. Troublemaker. Mai grabbed my arm and dragged me outside. There, 3 boys wearing normal boots jackets were shouting at each other, each of their faces turning purple. This again?
What?
What are you talking about?
Mamma mia!
I'm clearly the only one who possesses the proper masculine form. Yeah, right, I'm taller than you and more attractive to boot. Come on, guys. Can you not see these muscles? Nick pulled back the sleeve of his jacket and flexed his arm. These guys always go on about weird stuff like this. They're very energetic. Oh yeah? Josh got into the downward-facing dog yoga position and grinned. Look at this butt. Just look at this! What I don't understand is why they don't just ask Jared. Oh yeah? Paul kneeled low to the ground and then took off at a sprint, heading straight for us.
Yeah!
Check this out. He sprang into the air in a graceful ballerina's leap, spinning through the sky, and finally came straight for me? When I opened my eyes, I was sprawled flat on the ground, covered in dirt. Something cold and wet oozed onto the top of my blouse. Are you okay? I sat up. Chunks of ice cream fell from my blouse to my skirt. What happened? You ran into someone, you idiot. My uniform! It's ruined. A few seconds silence, then snickers rippled around me like the whirling of cicadas, or the whining of cicadas. My throat closed up, water stinging my eyes. No, not this, not again. I stood up, prepared to walk away with dignity, when the entirety of the Normal Boots Club suddenly appeared in front of my face. What happened here? Seriously? Tears slid down my face. No, not here. I didn't want to cry in front of them.
Hey.
Are you alright? I'm going home. Wait. It's fine. I just want to be alone for now. It took all of my will not to run back to the dorm. I immediately changed to my pajamas and climbed into bed, reaching for my stuffed rabbit. What am I going to do if this just ends up like last time? Mr. Bunny stared at me with big, lifeless eyes. I squished him to my chest, losing myself in his soft fur. The door opened with a soft click. Are you okay? I rolled over in bed to face the wall, pretending to be asleep. Mai stood in the center of the room for a while, looking at me. Finally, she sat down at her desk and began to work on something. The sound of her pencil scratching against the paper stilled my mind. I don't know how many hours passed, but eventually I fell asleep. Oh, poor Hana. I woke up to my alarm beeping and feeling only dread of the hours to come. After the nightmare that was the ice cream incident yesterday, I never wanted to take another step out of my room. Honestly, there's worse things, but when you're a kid, I understand. It's always the end of the world. I curled up inside my blankets as my alarm went off. It was only the second day of school, and I felt the same as I did every morning at home. Mai, of course, was already up, and I could hear her hair straighten or clap shut every few seconds from across the room. I felt bad about letting the alarm go off for so long, so I slid my hand out of the covers to switch it off. Hana, get up, sleepyhead. I know you're awake. I didn't even have time to poke my head out before Mai's body slammed into the edge of my mattress, bouncing me up. She jumped from almost halfway across the room.
Morning.
Ha! You can't hide from Mai. Sorry. I was breathless and paused to calm my heart before speaking again. Are you worried about what happened yesterday? No one cares about it, Hana. I almost forgot about it myself. She must have seen my face. She brought an arm around my shoulders and pulled me close to her. For real, though, we're gonna go to class, and no one's gonna even mention that you made a huge fool of yourself yesterday. You could have put that better. I'm kidding. It might have been a big scene, but it totally wasn't your fault. It was Paul, alright? When you jump, you have to calculate your trajectory, just like I just did now. He could learn a lot from a master like me. Get dressed and cheer up. I could bottle up your gloom and sell it to a wizard. And what if he used it for evil? You can't let that happen, Hana. Her smile was wide enough to bridge the gap between the continents. The beginnings of tears pricked the back of my eyes, but this time they were for a different reason. I opened my closet and tried to avoid looking at the sad lump of clothing inside, slathered with dried-up ice cream. I had only 2 uniforms, which cost my dad an entire month's salary. If I wasn't able to get the stain out of this uniform, what would I do? Sighing, I took my second uniform off its hanger and slipped it on as Mai waiting impatiently for me. Ready to go? I guess so.
Yeah.
Good. Aw, poor kid. Just as Mai said, no one paid any special attention to me. Well, there were a few odd looks here and there, but nothing really as bad as what I was expecting. As the lecture went on, my anxiety for the most part faded. I took to staring out the window to avoid eye contact. A few boys were out on the field playing soccer. Wait, was that PBG? I scooted closer, trying to get a better look. Hana? With the sound of my name, I leapt to attention. If there's something more interesting outside than samurai death battles, please feel free to enlighten us. You came here to learn, not to contemplate the scenery. Yes, Miss Shizuka. I'm sorry. She turned back to the chalkboard and continued her lecture as if nothing happened. A few desks in front of me, a guy sitting next to Brutal Moose turned around and gave me a flashy thumbs up. I made a face at him, unsure of what exactly he expected me to do. Then Ian turned around and socked him on the head. The other guy mumbled something to him, probably apologizing. Ian's eyes slid to me for a brief instant. Then he looked away. Were they looking at me because of what happened yesterday, or was there some other reason? I shook my head. There wasn't time for this. I had work to do if I wanted to keep my scholarship. After pages and pages of notes on Japanese history, it was nearly time for lunch. Okay, everyone is almost free to go. The work tonight isn't so hard, so don't grumble. You should work together and to complete it if you have a hard time. Also, as you may be aware, the Flower Festival is coming up in a week and a half. This news was met with a few cheers as everyone started to pack up. Since you have the day of the festival off, our first exam will be the day before. There were no cheers this time. Romance is wonderful, believe me, I know. But try not to let the festival distract you, okay? That is all. See you tomorrow. Miss Shizuka flashed a peace sign and winked as she walked out the door. What a weird teacher. Yeah, you're telling me. Ugh, that lecture was so boring. Mai walked behind me, a tray in her hands. We were shuffling through the cafeteria trying to find a seat. Didn't you say that yesterday? Probably, but it's true for today too. Hana, help me. I'm going to die of boredom. We have an assignment to keep us busy, Mai.
What?
We already have work to do? How did you not hear that? Mai sighed dramatically, then leaned to the side and rested her head in the crook of my neck. I reached up to pat her head a few times, but she straightened up before I could do it. Oh my god, Hana, Paul's walking over here. He's looking at you. Does he look angry at you? Why is he coming over here? Do you think he's gonna kick you again? The same Paul who humiliated me last night strode towards me. I instinctively backed away, but he kept coming closer. I'm glad I found you. He didn't look angry to me. In fact, he was giving me an odd, lopsided smile. I wanted to make sure you weren't hurt or anything. You ran off before I could properly apologize. I looked down at my feet. It was embarrassing enough that I ran off crying like a little girl, but to know that I made them feel bad was even worse. At the same time, the image of my ruined uniform popped in my head. I couldn't tell whether I was more angry or embarrassed, or whether I was feeling something else entirely. I got you pretty bad, didn't I? I think I ballerinaed too hard. He tilted his head to the side. It's a shame you're not wearing the uniform from yesterday. I liked the pink splotches on you. It matched your hair. A deep, sick feeling crawled up from my stomach to sit in my throat. My dumb, stupid hair. Everywhere I went, people made fun of it. I thought the normal boots guys were different, and he was trying to apologize. How could he say something like that to me? Not for the first time I thought of dyeing it a different color, but quickly dismissed it. Paul was waiting for a response, Mai giving me a quick nod as if warning me not to mess this up. I mustered up my best smile, hoping it was at least somewhat convincing. It's okay. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm more than happy to pay for the dry cleaning. Josh and Nick and I feel really bad about everything. We've never made a girl cry before. Well, not by physically injuring her, I guess. Thank you, but I was just going to scrub it in the sink. Dad and I could never afford things like dry cleaners, so I was surprisingly good at hand washing things. That thing's gonna need a lot more than just hot water and soap, trust me. Tell you what, I have a friend who's a natural with that kind of stuff. I'll ask her to get the stain out for you. Just meet me later and bring your uniform, okay? I'll try not to kick you this time. Without giving me time to say yes or no, he nodded and turned to leave. He spun quickly back around. I flinched. Are you and, Mai, right? Do you guys have a table? The cafeteria is pretty full right now. You can sit with us if you want, just for today. Yes, we'll go. Right, Hana? Lunch with the Normal Boots Club? Maybe. Maybe I really could become friends with them. And then no one would bother me again. Not about my hair or the ice cream incident. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Alright.
Follow me, ladies. He led us to the middle of the cafeteria where the Normal Boots Club sat with the table all to itself. Hey, you found her. You're Hana, right? I nodded, blushing as I took a seat at the edge of the table next to Paul, Mai forcing herself between Jared and PBG. Her eyes were only a few sparkles away from forming huge hearts. Goodness. Real subtle. So, Hana, we saw you were upset, and we were all worried. Are you feeling better? PBG looked at me, clearly concerned. My heart was beating hard against my chest, but I wasn't sure whether it was because I was nervous or because the sad look on his face made me want to give him a hug. Or maybe it was because I was about 2 inches away from Paul and only an arm's length away from all the other guys. As I tried valiantly to open my mouth, whispers spread around the lunchroom. Look at those girls over there. Who do they think they are? How come they get to sit there? I wish Senpai would notice me. Oh, good lord. I knew it was coming, though. Main characters get all the luck. Suddenly, my thoughts turned dark. Could it be that by getting close to these guys, I was setting myself up as a target instead of getting protection? My thoughts spun in my head. I was suffocating. PBG was still looking at me, even more worried than before. I'm fine. Thanks for your concern. Please don't feel bad. It was my fault for getting in the way. I'm sorry for causing such a scene. I should have controlled myself better. I hung my head. I wasn't sure how to act around these guys, so I defaulted to extremely polite. My father would have been proud.
Hana.
Hey, Hana, don't apologize. It was Paul's fault. Right, Paulie? Nick shoved Paul, who looked exasperated. I apologized as best I could, Nick. Give me a break. It was a relief that PPG wasn't staring at me anymore. Almost no one else was paying me or Mai any attention. Shane, however, was still shooting me quick, suspicious glances. It was almost like he didn't want me there, and I felt uncomfortable.
Hey, Hana.
Hey, how do you like it here so far, Hana? Good, how about you? I like it here, thank you. Gerard smiled at me, then turned away. I picked at my food. The guys were all wrapped up in their own conversations, and Mai was busy preventing hyperventilation from being so close to Jared. I can feel his body heat. Good lord. Oh dear!
Hey.
You doing okay, Hana? A smiling Satch turned to me. I know we can be overwhelming. You're fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am, totally. Thank you. Thanks for recommending me that book, by the way. It's been really good. Do you like it? That's great. I figured you would. It's really funny, but the narrator's annoying. Yeah, he can be a bit rude. He pushed up his glasses, then grinned at me. You were pretty quiet, but I knew there was more to you. I winced. Sorry, I can be a bit of a wallflower. No need to apologize. I'm sure we've all been wallflowers before. But that reminds me, the flower festival. He turned to the group, addressing them all. As if on cue, they all suddenly turned to pay him attention. So who are you all taking this year? Right, the flower festival. Miss Shizuka mentioned it before. What is the flower festival? No one's explained it to me yet.
Well...
It's basically just a festival. Didn't you have those at your old school? We did have festivals at my old school, but they were basically just 40 kids grouped in one room sharing snacks they brought from home. Well, we had something kind of like them, but I stopped going.
Really?
Oh, why not? They're so fun. I didn't really want to answer. There was no way I could say, well, my friends turned on me, so I went with people. So when I went, people pretended I didn't exist. But Maya was waiting for an answer, and everyone was looking at me. I'm just... not into that stuff, I guess. Oh, well maybe you'll like this one more. The Flower Festival happens all over Japan around this time of year, but it's a really big deal in Haigabana. That's the tower right next to Asagao. There's apparently some kind of myth about flowers that's somewhat important. Supposedly, the founder of Haigabana was an old man who got lost in the mountains and almost died of thirst. His flower spirit came to him and offered him help in return for his vow to protect her home. He agreed, and she drained herself of all her water so he could drink. The man founded Haigabana to watch over the meadow in which he met the flower. In some versions of the myth, the man and the flower spirit fell in love. It's a truly romantic festival. One may hope to find someone with which to go, make a vow of eternal love, just as the man and the spirit did, and to live on to protect the one they love. Jared winked and Mai swooned. So during the day, the flower festival, there's a lot of stalls set up, and you can go and play games and eat food, or go flower viewing. And at night, there's a special meadow over by the temple where you can go watch the flowers. There's a bonfire and dancing. It's a lot of fun. We look forward to it every year. Asagao sells paper flowers in the little booth to raise money for the school, too, so there's usually a big volunteer drive beforehand for people who are good at origami. Origami? I'm good at origami. Really, Shane is too. Maybe you should work together. Shane gave a tight-lipped smile. Somehow I didn't think that would be happening. Speaking of, I swear you rejected 10 girls last festival season. I mean, that's nothing compared to me, naturally. There were so many girls with broken hearts, I couldn't even mend them all. Good lord. You still hung up on your English girlfriend? Shane flinched, visibly taken aback. Then he shrugged. I don't talk to her anymore. Oh, Shane, I just want you to be happy, that's all. He wiped away a fake tear. Shane grimaced. How great would it be if someone asked me? Maybe even if one of the normal boots guys did? No, I doubted that would ever happen. They were only letting me sit there because they physically assaulted me. I sighed and cut my beefcake with a plastic knife. So, any girls in mind, fellas? Beside me, Mai shifted nervously. Her eyes kept flickering from Jared to her. to her french fries. She looked like a child who stole several cookies. Jared spread out his arms and raised an eyebrow. God, waiting for names to fall into his lap. I'm thinking of going solo this year, to be honest. Yeah, same. Man, you guys are boring. You aren't much better, man. I am on another level compared to you guys. I've already got my choice picked out. There was a quiet clattering next to me. Maya had dropped her fork. Yeah, I'm sure you have, and it'll probably be a new choice tomorrow. Jared flipped his hair with his hand. You know me so well. There's only so much time to make so many different girls' dreams come true. I must find the one who is the most in need. So it's not even about which one you like, huh? Nope. And you make fun of me. Just then, the warning bell rang. It was time to head back to class. As everyone got up to toss their trays, I stood up and, overwhelmed with a sudden burst of feeling, shouted, "Thank you for letting me and Maya eat lunch with you today. I really appreciate it." Yeah, thanks. Hana was having a terrible day, and you guys cheered her right up. So, see you guys again tomorrow, same time? Mai tilted her head, eyes twinkling. Paul said we could only sit with them for today. That's cool. Paul waved a hand in dismissal, almost dropping his tray with the other. The cafeteria is really crowded, and we have extra room at our table. People are too afraid to sit with us or something. Well, we did kick a girl yesterday. All three of them shrugged at the same time, then left the room, moving in unison like a team of synchronized swimmers. Jared dumped his tray and jogged to catch up with them. As soon as they were out of earshot, Mai took my hands in hers and jumped up and down. You did it, Hana! We get to sit with at the popular table. I've been trying to do this for 2 years, and you did it in 2 days. She dropped her hands and made a, jokingly I think, angry face. Main characters have all the fun. Well, we'll find out how much fun exactly in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the series, go ahead and leave a like, or feel free to leave a comment, or even subscribe. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of this one, and to be honest, I'm probably going to try and romance JonTron. Not even kidding. So, thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.